This is BBC World, putting news first.
This is the international news from BBC World. I'm Alistair Yates with our latest headlines. Hezbollah's leader says they would not have seized the Israeli soldiers if they'd known the devastating outcome. Don't forget Gaza, the appeal of 2 journalists freed after 2 weeks in captivity.
I just hope this never scares a single journalist away from coming to Gaza to cover this story.
Nearly 50 killed in a US passenger jet crash, but 1 man survives. Hello, welcome again. Hezbollah's leader, Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah, has appeared on Lebanese television and, in a surprising admission, said that he would not have captured 2 Israeli soldiers last month if he'd known the severe consequences for the Lebanese people. This is his quote. "We did not think that there was a 1% chance that the kidnapping would lead to a war of this scale." And Nasrallah went on to say, contacts for negotiations on a prisoner swap between Israel and Hezbollah guerrillas have already begun. And the BBC's Nick Thorpe is in Jerusalem and says a prisoner exchange could occur within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, from the very beginning of this conflict, even before, Israel said that there could be no negotiations with those it sees as terrorists. This went for they ruled out effectively any possibility of talks with the 3 Palestinian militant groups who seized an Israeli soldier, Gilad Shalit, on the 25th of June. That also seemed to apply to the 2 Israeli soldiers, the 2 reservists captured by Hezbollah on July the 12th, which of course triggered the large Israeli war in southern Lebanon. That said, in the aftermath of the war, when it became completely apparent that Israel had had to stop its military operations without securing the release of its prisoners, already on that day, August the 14th, the Prime Minister, Ehud Olmert, told the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, that he had appointed a senior security figure, Ofer Dekel, to work on the release of those men. And it was pretty well obvious in Israel that Hezbollah would demand a high price for that. What we've been seeing in the last couple of days, and that's been confirmed by Sheikh Nasrallah's comments on Sunday, is that some kind of prisoner exchange negotiations are going on. We believe that those are being led by German, perhaps also by Italian mediators. No clear indication of when that might happen, although a Cairo newspaper has suggested that there might be some result to those very secret negotiations within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
The BBC's Nick Thorpe, and earlier I spoke to the BBC's John Lyon in Tyre. I asked him what the people of Lebanon would make of the Hezbollah leader's comments.
Well, I think these are very interesting comments, particularly coming at this time. We were just out in the villages of southern Lebanon today, and just hearing the first criticisms, not a chorus you might say, but nevertheless very interesting that anybody would be speaking out at Hezbollah at a time like this. And basically the message was, you may think you've secured a victory, but you've done it by using our villages as the battleground. Now, not everybody's saying that, but even the fact that anybody is saying that is quite remarkable at this time. And one of the ironies is that Sheikh Nasrallah has become such a hero in the rest of the Arab world, but he's probably become, or has the potential to become, less popular here in Lebanon. And one other very interesting implication of what he said today, which is that in a way Israel, in a perverse way, may see this as justification, because they may feel, well, we have re-established deterrence. We've made it clear that this is what happens if you do something like kidnapping our soldiers. And as Sheikh Nasrallah himself has said, he wouldn't have done it if he'd known how Israel would respond.
On that point, John, the Hezbollah members themselves will be very confused with this message, won't they?
Well, I think he's speaking to a wider constituency. I mean, I think there are hardliners in Hezbollah who would say we'd go through it all over again. We'd start again, even if we knew the total consequences, and we'd quite like to restart the whole fight immediately afterwards. But I think there are a lot of people, even Hezbollah members perhaps, certainly members of the Shiite Muslim community here, and even more so the other communities in this very complicated society, Sunni Muslims, Christians, Druze, others, who would very much be saying, come on, we just don't want to go there again. We've got to sort out our lives in a more rational way and not have this fight yet again and have Lebanon all smashed up once again.
John, the one good thing, I suppose, that comes out of all this, though, is that this exchange of prisoners, the discussion over that is now going on, and obviously Nasrallah too referred to that.
Well, Hezbollah has always said it wants to exchange prisoners. That's what they said the purpose of the original kidnapping or capture of the Israelis was. And there are talk maybe that the Italian government might be trying to mediate, and the UN's been certainly talking about it with both sides. The key to this, as it was from the beginning, is what Israel's position is, because remember, the Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert right from the start set himself totally against any prisoner exchange. So it's the Israelis, frankly, who've got to swallow a few words and decide they are willing now to go ahead with the prisoner exchange for that to happen.
The BBC's John Lyne. Two foreign